Hey, hi. Welcome back to my channel. Yes, you are still chilling with Uveli, Unompumelelo Wamasango. And yes, so firstly, I would like to thank you for going through my first video where I was introducing myself. I was introducing the channel, why I came about doing the channel and why I'm so passionate about talking, right? Yeah, so this is my second video to my channel, right? And as I've said before that this video it is going to be about finance, it is going to be about money, business, accounting, and our hustle, how we are just hustling out there in the streets, and we're trying to provide for our families, we're trying to provide for ourselves, right? So, yes, let me just get straight into it, right? I had this all planned out, right, as to okay how I'm going to to share my story and all that. But today I just wanna go through Uti, like how I started my hustling. Okay, it started at a very young age, right? So my mother is a hustler, right? She has been hustling for like ever, right? So since I was young, when she was hustling, Atengisa, she would go with me on, her back. And whenever Atengisa, I'm there. And when people are buying and it's like, oh, you have this beautiful girl and all that. And then as I grew, my mom is selling. I'm seeing her, okay, this is how she makes money. Yes, she was working, but also she was selling, right? And then we had like a shop at home. And I would also do the selling at the very young age, obviously. Like umuntu makazothenga endlini uthola wena, and the person would say, okay, this is what I want. They would give you money. You go to the house, you tell whoever's there ukuthi kunomuntu ofuna into so na so, and then you give the person, right? And I think that's where the love for selling started, or it developed there, because from a very young age I was exposed to selling. And then what happened was that in primary, me and my friends, we started this business. We were selling sweets, right? And the funny part was that the business did not even last for a week. Yes, it was not even a week, because we ate the sweets. I mean, come on, how can a child sell sweets? Yeah, so me and my friends were selling sweets for a week, I think. And then what happened was that we ate the sweet. So the following week we didn't have a stock, right? And that was it. That was the end of our business. But me personally, it was something that was in me. It was like it was just in me, right? And I remember in my primary school days, I really loved, I think it was EMS. Yeah. Yeah, but it had to do with business, right? I really love that. And also when it came to my presentations, I would be the one volunteering to actually start with presentation, or if it was a speech, I'll want to go first. And in primary, yes, I was selling, and again my mom was continuing with the hustle. One of the girl was there, was hustling also. But I wouldn't really say it was hustling. It was just, something I grew up seeing. And then what happened was that I went to high school. Ash, got to high school. Then there was peer pressure, There's this guy that you like, but now what is he going to say when he see you selling whatever, right? So there was just a peer pressure there. But I remember my mom used to work somewhere where they where they baked, right? And whatever that was left, my mom used to bring it at home. And what I would do is on Saturday mornings, whatever that my mom brought home, I would then go house to house, selling those. I think it was muffins and cookies, yes. So I would actually go house to house, selling cookies. And I remember at home we had a lawnmower, right? Umshin wokusika utshani, right? And I used to, guys, like I used to I used to, cut the thing, people's grass, yes. And they would pay me, right? And the machine well, it belonged to my mom. Like it was like it belonged to my house, so it was literally mine. And then, like, for me it was just crazy because I was a young girl. Okatuchan, right? I remember my neighbors, I would be the one cutting the grass for them. And there was also this other house down the street. I was the one. Kore, when the grass is now grown, they see what this one needs cutting. They know what I so busy right? And like it was just so crazy because for me, I never saw it as okay, I'm a girl, so I cannot do this. Because in most cases what we know is we see it is boys who cut the grass and they kind of make money. But me, Chale, me, I was there, I was cutting grass, and oh, that was really nice. And what I learned there was making money, you know, and it it was such an amazing feeling because it is the money that I worked for. It is the money that I have made, right? And to me, it opened up a a channel of opportunities to learn ukuthi, hi man, this is how I can make money. I don't really have to work for it. And I was still young, man. I was still in, I would say maybe I was in my 16. I was still 18, yes. So having being exposed to the ways of making money and to the ways of selling, to be specific, because if there's anything I know how to do is to sell. That one born a gibo, so I know myself I can sell, right? And the selling part, like I said, it started from a very young age in gym. And then, yeah, it was high school days. Well, in my high school days, I wasn't so much of a hustler at school, to be specific. At school, I was just a low key person, Jay. I was just into other things that I cannot talk about right now. But I was into other things, and there were boys involved, so you can't just. But when I was at home, it was just a different, it was a different setup. It was a different scenario. And one thing that I used to do was, like, I'm such a creative person that I used to do things for myself. I remember I used to cut my mom skirts and I would make dresses for myself. I would cut my mom's whatever and I would make a bag. I would make a necklace. I remember there was this uh an old bag of my mom's, right? And it had some chains on it. I remember I did rings, I did some chains, I did some things on that bag, right? I created such um wonderful and beautiful things. And for me, that was such a contributor to the person that I am right now because I trust you me. Now when I find something in the house, I'm like, okay, ish, what can I do with this one? And then you find me with a scissor. You find me with a scissor and I'm there, Brian. I'm cutting and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this. And then I'm thinking, can I sell this? I'm like, I know. I like it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take it. It's mine. I'm doing it for myself, right? So, yes, my childhood was so amazing because I got to learn, man, how to hustle for myself. And my high school days were over, right? And I remember I started being serious with school when I was in when I was in matric, guys. Like when I was in matric, I started being serious with school. Like when I mean being serious is like really focusing on my academics, checking how many percents I'm getting, how many levels, hore ke level mangi, those type of things. I started really focusing on that in my matric. And then yes, and then a lot of happened then. But what I want to talk about now is my passion for business, my passion for selling, my passion for money. Because one thing that I'm really sure about is that I I I I I I see myself selling every day. I see myself, being this successful entrepreneur, being this influential entrepreneur, because it's something that I've always had passion for. You know, when I look at my diary, okay, because I'm that one that keeps a diary, that keeps a journal. It's a journal, right? So whatever that is happening, I would just journal it down. It's like, okay, dear diary, this is what happened today. Today was like late, or today was like sad. So I'm that kind of person. So when I look at my journals, my diary when I was growing up, the things that I wrote there about what I want to achieve when it comes to like business, what I want to achieve with my life. From a very young age, I never saw myself working for someone, you know. And that one, it's something I wouldn't say I have been struggling with, but the people around me have been struggling with that, especially the parents, because they really do not understand what do you mean, like you want to have your own business, you have to work, and then you have to marry, and then how are you going to take care of your kids, so they do not understand me. They don't understand why I don't want to work. I am not looking for a job, right? It is a struggle for them. But in my heart, I know that I want to hustle. I want business. I'm there. Right? And again, man, the important thing is knowing yourself, right? Knowing who you are, knowing what you are best at, and knowing the kind of life that you want to live, because most of us are conforming to what people want us to do. We are conforming to people's expectations. People expect you to be a lawyer or whatever, right? If you want to be a lawyer and you are really passionate about that, it's okay. Like, do it, go for it. That's you, babes, do you. But if you are doing that to please parents, you're gonna have a problem, right? But you have to know what is it that you want. You have to know, how you are going to get there. And trust you me, with the backgrounds that we are from, it takes time for people to get you, but even if they don't get you, it's fine. But it takes time for you to get yourself. First, get yourself. Know who you are. Know, worry, okay, me, I'm one person who can tolerate being in the office from 8 to 5. Because I can't. Like, I can't. Like, A lot of people will testify. I cannot be in the office from 8 to 5. I go crazy, guys. That is just not my space. And I'm saying this because I've once worked in an office, and that was the worst day of my life. I It was just so difficult, man, just being there the whole day. The whole day. I'm just there. I'm not speaking to anyone. Or the people that I'm talking to is just the people that I talk to every day. I guys. Like angizenzi, it is just not in my nature. It is not in my nature to just sit around in the office, be with papers, do paperwork. Yes, I can do that, right? I do that. I used to do that, but it was not a like an 8 to 5 type of thing. I'm sorry. So that's why I say it is important for you to know yourself, to know your strength, to know your weakness. My strength is in the streets, bruh. Give me something to sell, and you will see me and you will know me. But put me in the office, you will depress me, Joe. You will depress me because I know myself that I am not 100% functional in the office, right? But then that does not mean that I cannot put in the work, or I cannot be a team player or work in a team. I can do those things, just that it's not something that I see doing for the longest time of my life, right? I can do those things. I have done them. Just that it is not the space I want to see myself in. And one thing that I have realized, especially with my consultation business, what I do is I do have an office at home, right? Where I sit at home in that office and I do the work. They call me, they say they need this. I do that, and then I am done. So now the issue that I have with the office hours, right, is that I have to be there. It is very compulsory for me to be there from 8 until 5. You can't go anywhere. You have to be there and do whatever. Even if there's no work, you have to be there. So that is just not my space. What I want is I want to do the work, finish with the work, and go for a run, go to the gym or go to the mall, but knowing that I have done the work, you know. And yes, this concludes today's video, today's episode. So